Back to Fun NFL. We got a recap here. I'm just sorry. I have to get out this alley. I've just been really busy. But anyway, let's just get this recap going. Like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video.
You can throw it underneath. Garoppolo has a man on the perimeter. That's a touchdown. Tua out of the gun. Hit as he throws it. It's incomplete.
The hit was the
offensive line. They got extra offensive linemen in there.
Chiefs had to make sure they don't jump. And Jackson will get the first down and in effect end the game.
High snap, put down. Joseph, come on! It is good!
For the win. Zerline's kick. Is it long enough? It is into the net.
On the sidelines in a tight game for the Colts.
Eason on second down.
Can they walk away with an overtime win? Bullock from 36 yards away. Kick on the way, and it is good!
Our first down. Blitz coming. Ryan not looking. And that's going to be intercepted. And that's going to be returned for a touchdown.
More difficult now. Burrow throws, intercepted. It is picked off, and on the run is Roquan Smith down the sideline. Smith gets a block.
New Orleans Saints, again, they just couldn't get the offense going. All those offensive coaches missing on the sidelines. Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns in week 1. Through this red alert, fueled by Gatorade. Teddy Bridgewater got the Broncos inside of the 20-yard line. And Teddy checks down. Tim Baker Mayfield throws and gets picked off. And on the interception, the return is coming back. I think it's Justin Reed. Baker Mayfield tries to make the tackle. It's back to a 2-possession lead for Cleveland.
3rd down and 10. Airing it out. Carr. It is caught. Henry runs.
And what's going on, guys? Okay, so for this video, yeah, I'm gonna probably be doing the Monday night game in here too. Just so you know, if any of you Packers fans, I'm not gonna do a Monday night recap for this thing because, no offense, but I gotta get this thing over with. Either way, so starting off with the Raiders versus Steelers, this game was a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it. Raiders definitely won the game. It was a good game by both teams. Raiders just showed up better, to tell you the truth. Derek Carr made it the best game of his career, I have to admit. Like, let's look at the offense for the Raiders, just to start off with. So Raiders offense said run the ball up the gut and then get short passes to Darren Waller, Hunter doesn't be afraid to take deep shots. So they did run the ball. They tried to. They tried to do it a lot, but it didn't really work. So like that kind of stunk. Couldn't really run the ball. Then they actually had to pass the ball, and it worked really well. A lot of short passes to Darren Waller, as you can see, and Hunter Renfrow too. A lot of really short passes. They took some couple big deep shots of Henry Ruggs. They connected on one, so that was the good news. So yeah, Raiders offense, gotta give you a good grade because simply they did play well. I gotta give them a plus. They played really well. Now we go to the Raiders defense. I'm just gonna give them a plus straight up. They played fantastic. They got a pick off Big Ben. They got two sacks, but they played so many good games. Denzel Perryman might have had the best game of his career. Jonathan Abram definitely did. The defense played really well. Yeah, they just didn't really give any big plays. They didn't really try to do too much, and it really worked out. Like I said, stop the run. They did stop the run pretty well. And then forced turnovers and to get short fields. They did that once, but they did get a fumble, so that was good news. But then you look at the Steelers side. What the heck happened, Steelers? That's my question. Steelers offense is to run the ball with Najee Harris a lot. They didn't really get to do that much because they were actually behind on a lot of plays. And then throw to the trio on Eric Ebron. They only got the ball to Deontay Johnson. Juju got like nothing. He didn't really get much, and he was probably the best receiver I have to make got open the most. Deontay Johnson had some really nice catches, but Juju got open a lot more than he got credit for. Eric Ebron didn't get targets. Gotta give him a minus. They didn't play well. Well, you know what? I'll give them an underscore because they didn't have an absolutely terrible game offensively. They just didn't get the job done. Same thing for their defense. Like I said, bring pressure and put 2 on Darren Waller. They ignored Darren Waller a lot, but who the heck cares? 2 high safeties on every, but they did not do that. And they got burned over the top by Henry Ruggs a couple times. I got him an underscore. They did keep their team in it. Because it could have been like the Chiefs, and they could have just been absolutely blown out of the water. That didn't happen, so I got to give them a good grade. Final scores before us 26-17. Raiders are 2-0 now. So I just gotta put this in. Okay, 49ers Eagles. Okay, final score 17-11. This was actually a pretty darn good game. I liked how they played. Both teams had some sloppy plays, but it's still a pretty good game. Like I said, for the 49ers, run the ball like they did run the ball a ton. Like a ton. Target George Kittle and on early downs. They did that, but the one thing I wanted to say, they only got it to him 4 times. What's with Brandon Ayuk not getting any catches? He was getting open. Deebo Samuel, no offense, these catches were forced, a lot of them. He had one good play, that was about it. They ran the ball a lot. They relied on the run game. It worked, though. Jimmy G wasn't very good. 22 of 30, 189 yards. A lot of conservative plays, a lot of sacks taken. Not a great game. 49ers defense, for their offense, I got to give them they didn't play great. They weren't bad. Don't give up long time-consuming drives. Like I said, they played awesome. I got to give them a plus. They were the reason they won the game. Like, they didn't play amazing, but they had a really good game defensively. They really limited yardage. Nick Bosa had a really good game. He absolutely kept burning Jordan Mailata on some plays. What I said for the Eagles, get the ball out quickly to all their weapons. Jalen Hurts is 12 of 23, 190 yards. They did that pretty good. Quez Watkins had this one huge, long, crazy play. They did that, but then he got sacked twice by Nick Bosa. So that just didn't really help. So I guess I'll have to give him an I'm going to give him an underscore. They didn't play bad. Neither team played bad. Simple as that. And then Eagles defense stopped the run on 3rd down. They didn't stop the run on 3rd down. So I'm gonna give them an underscore though because they didn't really play bad. They just didn't play great. So I have to give them that. They didn't get any pressure because they just ran the ball the whole game on them. They just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. But they didn't play bad, so I gotta give them a decent grade. Browns Texans. Like I expected this game not to be a great game. It wasn't a bad game by any means, but it definitely wasn't a good game. The Texans kept it a little closer than I definitely expected, but they still didn't win. So, if they won this game, I would be legitimately surprised. I'll just tell you that. For the Texans offense, I said run the ball on early downs while controlling the clock on inbound small passes to the receiver. So they actually didn't run the ball good at all. David Johnson in the shotgun. Tyrod Taylor got hurt, but he actually played amazing. 10 of 11, 125 yards touchdown. A lot of these short passes, good first drive. Davis Mills just tried to force the ball a lot. 8 of 18, 102 yards touchdown pick. He had a really nice pass. Brandon Cooks had another really good game, 9 for 78 and touchdown. Some of these passes he threw were just deep balls he probably shouldn't have threw. I'm going to give him an underscore. They didn't play, they put up points, just didn't have the greatest game. They didn't play great, and then their defense, I don't know what to say. They didn't play bad. I got to get, they didn't play good at all because they did not stop the run. They got a sack. They just didn't play well. They weren't bad, but they're going to force turnovers because here's the thing about this team. They actually have a good coach, so they just didn't really do much. Other than the interception, Baker threw a really dumb pass. And then stopping Kareem Hunt, it wasn't good at all. Kareem Hunt actually didn't have a bad game, but Nick Chubb was actually running all over him. I'm going to give the Browns, I don't like how the Browns played, honestly. They probably should have ran the ball even more. And Baker had to have a better, like, I'm joking, but still. Baker's pick that's the only bad play I saw from him. He was 19 of 21, 13 yards touchdown pick. Keep in mind, a lot of those were a lot of short passes. Like, Demetrius Fenton, his touchdown was literally just, like, walked in. So you got to realize that. And then you look at the Browns' defense. Like, they didn't play great. I'm going to give them an underscore. They didn't play bad. Like, they had a pick. They had some really nice plays, but overall, they just didn't play good. They had a sack. Who had a sack? Grant Delpit had a sack on a safety blitz. I like how they played. They didn't play great. You need to play better against not a good team. Simple as that. Now we go to Broncos-Jags. Broncos-Jags was actually a pretty darn good game. Like, it might have been boring for some fans, but I liked how it was. It was a good game. Broncos offense, I said run the ball a lot and then go Teddy throwing to weapons. The Teddy throwing to weapons worked, I'll just tell you that. They didn't really run the ball well, though. Like, Javonte Williams had some good carries, but it was really consistent with Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon was absolutely awful. He did not look good. But Teddy B, 26 of 34, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gotta say, I'm going to give him an underscore. They just didn't run the ball as well. It shouldn't have been this close. Honestly, it should have been a better game. But Cortland Sutton had a great game. Just got a lot of big catches. Tim Patrick, Noah Fant, both had a good game. Same with Alberto. Defensively, gotta say, it was a really good game defensively. Stop the run and pressure Lawrence. I'd say that they did that pretty well. But the one thing I said, their coverage was absolutely outstanding. Best coverage I've seen, other than maybe the Patriots. From this week was pretty good. Trevor's throwing the ball too much. 14 of 30, 388 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have, like, an absolute awful game compared to Zach Wilson, we'll talk about in a little while. Just didn't have a great game. I'm going to give him like I said, try to actually get an early lead. They couldn't really do that, and then run the ball in the first drive. They didn't do that. I got to give him a minus. Like, it wasn't a terrible game, but they just couldn't really do anything. Trevor couldn't throw any deep balls. It was kind of really bad. Marvin Jones was the only one who was doing anything. James Robinson didn't even have that bad a game. And then defensively, absolutely prioritized stopping the run. They did prioritize stopping the run. It wasn't bad. It was just, they just couldn't really do much. Teddy took some sacks. I got to give him an underscore. They didn't have a bad game. I got to give him credit where it was due, but still. Next game, we have the Saints-Panthers. Got to type this in quickly, of course. Saints are inconsistent. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, I don't think they're a bad team in any means. But they're just not. They look like polar opposites from last week. So, what I said for the Saints offense, give the ball to Kamara plenty of times and then limit James under 30 times. Well, James got it under 30 times, 11 of 22, 111 yards, 2 10 receptions. He didn't do much. Alvin Kamara got 8 carries for 5 yards. This defense stopped the run. I gotta give them a minus. They just didn't play well. They can't run the ball, or Kamara doesn't produce. They just stink it up. They couldn't pass the ball either. And then we go to the Saints defense, shut down CMC. They didn't even come close to shutting them down. And then pressure Darnold with 2 high safeties. Like, they got some pressure. They got a pick. It was a terrible pass, but they did play 2 high safeties. I can't give them a minus because they did only. No, I can't give them a minus because their offense was so bad, but they didn't play well. I gotta put that up. Demario Davis was, like, the guy there. Then for Sam Darnold, like, their offense gets a plus because they did control the clock. Other than the terrible pass, Darnold threw a fantastic game. Get an early 2-score lead, ding. And then they make them have the pass. They didn't really have the time to pass because they got sacked a lot. They got a ton of sacks. Panthers defense, I'm going to give them a plus. If I could do that. I only can give them 1 plus. That was probably the best game I've seen from the Panthers defense yet. They got 4 sacks. They got 2 picks. They got a fumble. Man, it was a really good game by them. I just put that out there. And if anyone care, Christian McCaffrey, 24 for 72, touchdown. Didn't run the ball particularly well. Christian McCaffrey got involved in the receiving game, of course, 5 for 65. Sam Darnold, 26 38, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns pick. Not a great game, but he had a really solid game. Next game, we got the Rams-Colts. The Rams, they won 27-24. They're 2-0, but I was peeing my pants at one point because they had a botched snap. And it did not look good. I have to admit that. Colts are 0-2. They are the best 0-2 team by a mile. And it's really not even close. is close. You got the Vikings, but still, Rams offense, they said run the ball efficiently and then play action motion off of that. They did that pretty well. Matt Stafford didn't have a great game, not a bad game. 19 of 30, 278 yards, two touchdowns, interception. Not bad, not great. I'm going to give him an underscore. They put up points, but Cooper Kupp, he had the best week I might have seen from him. 9 for 162 yards, two touchdowns. The Rams' defense was the reason they won this game. I got to give them a plus. Like, they did stop the run pretty well, but it was the interceptions. They got 2. They got a couple sacks. It was just good all-around defense. Like, Aaron Donald didn't get a sack, but he definitely had the best game by a mile. And then, look at the Colts. The Colts' offense, Carson Wentz, he looked like he was from 2017. He's going to be out in a couple weeks. That's my guess. He's 20 of 31, 147 yards, touchdown. The pick was a really dumb play. But I'm giving them, they didn't deserve like a plus, definitely not, but they get an underscore. They played pretty darn well. Wentz had a great game. They couldn't really run the ball that well. That was all on the Rams defense, but man, they didn't play bad at all. Defensively, the Colts, hats off to them. They get a plus. Like, the Rams won, but that team looked like it was from what they only got one sack, but they got a lot of pressure on Stafford. Stafford didn't get the ball out quickly, and he got tipped a couple of times. They're not a bad defense, that's for sure. So yeah, any team who thinks the Colts like, oh yeah, they're 0-2, they must stink. They don't stink. They are a scary team. Okay, now we go to the stinker game of the week, to say the least. So this game, I was thinking like, how in the world as a Bills fan do you lose this game? I'm just saying like, you can't lose this game. Basically, that's what I'm saying. It's not a must-win, but it's close to it. And yeah, they did show up. Like, their offense did not play well. For like Josh Allen, 17 of 33 yards, 179 yards, two touchdowns. Pick. He didn't really like. I wanted them to do more. That's what I meant to say. The Dolphins, I don't even know what to say. Tua got hurt. Oh yeah, that was the reason. No, they weren't gonna do anything against them. Sorry, but for the Bills, they should not be. That was a fluke last week. The Raiders should not be 2-0. They should either be 0-2 or 1-1. Or no, actually, probably should be 1-1. Either way, for the Bills, they won 35-0. They're 1-1. Dolphins, they're 1-1. Neither one of these teams are bad, but my goodness, the Dolphins laid an egg. Like I said, for the Bills offense, run the ball efficiently in the second half. They did that pretty convincingly. I'd say that's a plus. I'm gonna give an underscore. They didn't do anything though. Like, there were no big plays. They won 35-0, but it just wasn't a good game. Like, they ran the ball really well, but I'll give them a plus. They just didn't really throw the ball much, and when Josh Allen was throwing, it was really conservative, or it was an incomplete pass because that secondary is awesome. Bills defense hold and play aggressive. Like, they had a shutout. This might be the best defense in the NFL this year. It's pretty simple. They get a plus. Dolphins offense, I don't even need to talk about it. They get a minus. They got shut out. You can't really say. Defense for the Dolphins, I'll give them an underscore. They held them pretty decently. They couldn't really stop the run, but they stopped Josh Allen, so that's good news. Jacoby Brissett threw the ball way too much, and he did not play well at all. Then we go to the next game. We have Jets. Sorry, it's so tight to send. Either way. So either way, for the Jets-Patriots game, I said for the Patriots won this thing 25-6. That's all I really have to say about this. But for the Patriots offense, I say run design, then play. Mac Jones, he threw 22 of 30 and 286 yards. He didn't have to do much. Their run game kind of took care of it. Like, Damian Harris, as much as he wasn't efficient, he had a couple really nice runs. They got the ball. They didn't really throw many good balls. It was just pretty ugly on their offense in terms of the passing game. I'll give them an underscore. Like, didn't play bad. They just didn't play good. Patriots defense gets a plus all the way. Zach Wilson, yeah, sorry, but you kind of sucked. And I'll just give him a minus. I'll just show you his stat line. Like, he threw for yards. Like, good for him. 210 yards, but he threw 4 picks. Yeah, he had a terrible game. They couldn't run the ball. Jets defense, I'll give them an underscore. They didn't play awful. They didn't really play that bad. They limited a lot of yardage, but don't really want to talk about this game if anyone cares. Bears, they actually showed up for once. Say the least, yeah, they showed up. Bears offense. I mean, Bengals obviously pass the ball and run the ball like last week. They did that pretty well. And then throw the ball to the sideline and then challenge the Bears corners. So, Joe Mixon was the only one running the ball. They didn't run the ball that efficiently. 19 of 30, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I gotta say, it wasn't a great game by either team on the offensive side of the ball. I gotta give them a minus. They didn't play well. They couldn't really run the ball great. And Joe, just no offense, you just tried to put balls where you couldn't put them. He didn't challenge him. He just threw in the wrong spot, and that was bad. Tim was that, but their defense, they kept him in it pretty much the whole game. Like I said, blitz Dalton and then prioritize Salving. Yeah, they did that really well. I gotta give them a plus. Their defense played. They've showed up. And then, but Dalton got hurt. If anyone didn't know that, so yeah, Dalton got hurt. Now we got Andy. Oh shoot, sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Either way. Andy Dalton got hurt, and then they couldn't really do much. But they didn't, as much as I don't want to see Andy Dalton play bad, because he didn't play bad, he was playing better than, oh yeah, everyone didn't care yet. Week 3 previews coming. It's probably on Saturday, I'll make that, yeah. And then, but of course, we got a ton of other videos to do. But the Bears, Andy Dalton just was very conservative on the first drive he played. Then he got hurt. He threw a touchdown. Justin Fields, he tried to push down the ball and threw a really bad interception. I'm going to underscore. They did good enough. Even if David Montgomery didn't run the ball, they controlled the ball pretty well. I got to give them an underscore. They didn't stink, so I have to give them that. Bears defense gets a plus. They played really well. They got 3-4 sacks. Yeah, right, 3. So yeah, I got to give them. They played really well. 2017 was your final. Both teams are 1-1 now. Yeah? Okay. So either way, guys, yeah, see you later. Yeah, I'll be, now we'll just see the next part. Okay, guys, I'm back, and let's go. Okay, so starting off, we're gonna go with the Bucs and the Falcons. And yes, we will be doing the Monday night recap tomorrow. Try to get that out. But either way, Falcons, they lost 48-25. It was actually a close game. It was 31-25. Yeah, it was actually 25-28 at one point. Bucs pulled away. Either way, Matt Ryan, 35 of 46, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have an absolutely terrible game. And then for the Falcons offense, they keep pace with the Bucs and get the ball outside to Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley. I'm gonna give them an underscore because they actually kind of did that at the start. Then didn't really happen. And then you look at their defense. They didn't do nothing. They gave 48 points. Well, they didn't give up 48. They gave up 35. They didn't play good at all. That's why they're getting a minus. They didn't play well at all. Bucs, plus hats off to them. They had a really good game, but I can't let the Bucs defense get away with it. They might have had 2 pick sixes. Mike Edwards might have had 2 pick sixes. They didn't play terrible. They just gave up way too many yards, and you can't win. That's not a recipe for success. When they play the Rams next week, they will not be able to do that. I'll talk about that in the preview. Either way, now we go to the Vikings versus the Cardinals. This game, pretty simple. The Vikings shouldn't be 0-2 right now. They should definitely be 2-0. They are 0-2 though, and the Cardinals are 2-0. They won 34-33 on a missed kick. But for the Vikings offense, play the game through Dalvin Cook and then target JJ and Thielen in the red zone on early downs. So he definitely targeted on early downs because they knew that was the only thing. Gonna give him an underscore because Dalvin Cook got 22 carries for under 31 yards. Kirk Cousins 22 of 32, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. They just didn't get it done at some points, which I think was a really big deal. Then for their defense, simply limit the big plays with Kyler, and contain him in the pocket, and then shut down the run while dribbling Tanner Hopkins. This was a lot. They weren't able to get it all done. I'm going to give an underscore, though, because they actually didn't play that bad. Playing a really good team. They didn't give up 40-plus points. They had some big picks. Daniil Hunter just kept getting off the edge and beat, who was he? Who was beating? he kept beating the Kelvin Beachum, and it worked. But then you look at the Cardinals offense, run the ball with Kyler and take shots at DeAndre Hopkins. They did that pretty well, but I'm going to give an underscore. Kyler threw 2 picks. He had 36 passing attempts, 29, 36, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He had a really good game. And they actually didn't run that well. It's just there were some plays where I'm like, how the heck did he fumble that? How did he turn it over? They didn't have an absolute amazing game on offense. They had a good game, just not a great game. DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a ton of catches, but he had a touchdown, so that was good. And then for the Cardinals defense, I'm gonna give him an underscore. They made big plays at times they needed to, like stops. But they didn't play very good at all. I can't give them a minus because they didn't play as bad as you could have to actually lose that game. It wouldn't be different if they still gave it up. Like, they didn't have a terrible game. It just wasn't a good game. Now we go to there's 2 more games we got to do. Okay, first, starting with Titans Seahawks. Titans, they stole a win. They're 1-1, and then Seahawks, they're 1-1. If we look at the Titans offense, run the ball with Derrick Henry. They did that, and they won. Plus, first half, it didn't look like they were going to do that. And then they decided, yeah, we probably should do that, and it worked. And then, for the Titans defense, play a deep zone and forgetting and trying to make big plays on defense. They did that pretty well. I'm going to give it an underscore. They gave some big touchdowns. But they didn't play bad at all. They just needed to play better, simple as that. Seahawks, disappointing loss, but whatever. Russ was pretty darn good, 22 of 31, 343 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, do the same thing you did last week. They didn't really do that because they couldn't run the ball for their life. Chris Carson might have had 2 touchdowns, but they did not run the ball efficiently. I'm going to give them an underscore because they did put up points, enough for them to win. They still lost, though. Seahawks defense, I think, control the big plays down the field on 3rd down. They could not stop them for their life on 3rd down. I'm giving them a minus. The Seahawks defense did not play well. Will they play better next week? Yes, totally. They will play better against the Vikings. But they just didn't play good. I'm just going to put that out. Now we go to the Cowboys, Chargers. Cowboys, again, they won. They're 1-1, 2017 on a game-winning kick. Chargers are 1-1. Cowboys, I said run the ball with Zeke and throw to the 3 receivers and the tight ends. They did exactly that. Tony Pollard and Zeke kind of split carries. I get what they were trying to do there. Zeke did get his carries, a good amount of them actually. He was productive. Tony Pollard was probably even better. They got to the ball to the tight ends pretty well. Schultz only had 2 catches, but he got injured. I'm going to give him a plus. They did well. I know they might not. There were plays where Dak probably didn't make the best decision. No, I'm not. I'm just giving an underscore. They didn't play great. Dak threw a pick, 237 yards, 23 of 27. I like how they played. They just didn't do as good as I thought they were going to do. The Cowboys defense didn't play a great game, but they did their job. I'm going to give them an underscore. They did have some long drives put against them, but they did do enough in the end to win it. So yeah. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert, 31 of 41, 338 yards, touchdown on 2 picks. I did for Chargers offense, throw the ball to Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, deep balls to Mike Williams. Mike Williams got deep balls. Keenan Allen got a couple big catches. Austin Eckler got catches. He ran the ball pretty well. And score over 30 points. They couldn't do that. I have to give them an underscore. They did everything but score over 30, and that's what happened. That's why they lost. I gotta give the Chargers defense didn't play bad. They just didn't pressure Dak enough. He was untouched at times. They got 1 sack the whole game, and it was untouched. And it was a pretty bad sack, if I have to admit it. It was an ugly sack. That's what I meant to say. Wasn't a good sack, clean sack. Now we go to the Sunday Night Football game. This game was actually very, very, very good. The Sunday night game, 36-35. You guys haven't missed it. So the Chiefs have lost their first game in September since 2016, which is crazy. Mahomes was 24 of 31, 343 yards, 3 touchdowns, interceptions. Chiefs scored 1-1. Ravens stole a win at home. They're 1-1, 36-35. So when I said protect Mahomes and throw short passes, be patient for the deep balls, they weren't patient at all. And Mahomes threw a bad interception. I have to give him an underscore. They had a really good game, but couldn't really run the ball. Just a tough game. Their defense, I gotta give them an underscore. They didn't, stink. I'll give them a minus. They couldn't stop the run. They did stop the pass pretty well. Tyrann Mathieu had a really good game. They had Daniel Sorensen had a really nice safety blitz sack. They just didn't really do anything special other than those 2 interceptions from Tyrann Mathieu. And yeah, that's what he does. Ravens plus. I said stay on the field at least more than the Chiefs and don't be afraid to take shots. They took some shots. It didn't really end well, but Lamar absolutely torched them on the ground. They did their job to win the game, even with those turnovers. I like how they played. And then defensively, limit the bomb plays. I'm gonna give them an underscore. They gave up a lot of points, but they still ended up winning, so I gotta give them that. And their defense played well enough. Either way, that's gonna be the end of the recap, guys. Hope you liked it. Like and subscribe, of course, and enjoy the next videos.